So you have a winter storm warning coming. What do? Do you panic? Do you get ready? Any preparations that you have to do? That's a good question when you're somebody who's autistic. Because with autism, sometimes these feelings from these extreme types of events can make it a bit overwhelming to process. Think about that. It puts you under pressure. It makes you think outside of your comfort zone. So how can you reframe that thought process to make it so that you can process everything properly, if all of this makes sense? One way I do it is to be aware and not be scared. It's a little saying that I live by when I have to deal with emergencies or urgent events or things that might potentially cause problems. So I try as hard as I can not to let things get to me. For example, there is a winter storm coming. And in this storm, there's a potential for power outages. There's a potential for a bursted pipe. There's potential for a lot of ice and a lot of other stuff that might happen. So how do I process that? How do I frame it in my mind in a way that it's not going to overwhelm me, but it's going to just let me be prepared? I started by making sure that I prepared early. So I'm not one of those persons to sit around and wait and see, because I've done that in the past and it's worked against me. Soon as the warning comes out, I start preparing. I make a little list, and instead of keeping things in my head, I write it down. This is basically how I deal with it. I will write down the potentials of things that could happen, so I'm aware of it. And I also write a little note to myself, letting myself know that this is not a given. This is just to prepare your mind if it does happen. We don't know what's going to happen in the future. All these things are all predictions. So the best thing to do is to be aware and not be scared. The fire alarm may go off if a pipe bursts. So what do? I keep that in my mind, in the back of my mind, that there's a chance that this could happen. This allows me to have a sense of awareness. So if in case it does go off, I don't panic. I just jump into action. If a pipe bursts, I have the emergency contact numbers handy. I know that I have to call them first thing, right off the bat. Give them a call, tell them to rush over here, and also keep my insurance information handy because I'm going to need that. More than likely, if there's a burst pipe, you will deal with a flood. All these things can be worked out, so it's not a matter to panic about. If the power goes out, it's the same thing. I have batteries, I have a backup, and my car's a hybrid, so basically it's a battery on its own right. I have different ways to deal with this. Put a little spare money on the side, and if need be, jump in the car. If I can make it through the night in the car, just stick it out in the car and stay where I'm at. It's the best way to go about it. If not, well, let me back that up and say this. For me, I have a CPAP machine. So what I would do is I would use the battery that I have, the battery backup, and use it inside my apartment until it depletes. Once I am out of battery, that's when I go to the car and recharge the battery. And I kind of do this little routine of recharge and reuse until the power comes back on. The fridge stays closed. The only thing that's consumable is water and perishables, or things that are that are canned or that can survive outside of the fridge. I put all these things down is what I'm trying to say, to make a plan and to become aware. I put all these things down of what needs to be done. Worst comes to worst, where there's burst pipes, there's cold, and there's power outages. That's when I get up, get in my car, and go to a hotel somewhere around town that has power. Take some of my stuff with me and just leave. Wait till the power goes back on and then come back and deal with the mess. Why am I giving you these tips? Because I know, again, that when it's something urgent, when it's something that's triggering, It can be hard to process all this. So to have these tips on hand and to know of a way that you can navigate it will help you avoid the panic and make sure that you're prepared. Remember that even if urgent, as long as it's not life-threatening, of course, you will get through it. You'll navigate it. You'll be able to get through it just fine. Things can always be repaired. The only things that can't be repaired are life-threatening things. Those have to be dealt with right away. For example, if you have an injury, go to the hospital. Don't wait around. If you get sick, go to the hospital. The hospitals will always have a way to keep things going. And the last tip that I can give, or that I can think of, is if you want to, and if you don't think you can navigate through the storm, before the storm, get in your car and go to a family member, a friend, or go to a hotel somewhere outside of the area where the storm's going to happen. All these different things will keep you headstrong and will get you through any storm that may come. Tell me in the comments, have you ever dealt with storms before? Have you ever dealt with emergencies, urgent situations, alarms, sirens, anything that gives you a very bad, overwhelmed trigger? Let me know about it in the comments. And with that, I'll see you on the next video.